Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and it looks like we had another turn roll for what I've started calling skids, which is same Kidzin, different salt. And let's go ahead and dive into this and see what the hell's going on. Alright. So we got two messages. First one's from Lanka. What on earth is this map? Poor Sauro got robbed with those connections after promising me the Horse Tribe province. I really regret changing mountain survival for a second point of heroism. Wouldn't be stuck in the east for so long waiting for heat scales. So it does sound like he's done some negotiation with Sauromatia then. Interesting. Okay. Anyways, Owls approached me about 2v1ing Zan like 4 turns ago. Normally I wouldn't do that sort of shit this early unless it's a pop kill or elves. So yeah, I'll be joining him soon enough. Oh, okay. Just want to get some lizard shamans out for body ethereal to help me out. Zan does have crystal sorks as well, but if I pump out shamans from 2 provinces, I should have a nice advantage there. To be honest, I don't even want to take much. Maybe 2 to 3 provinces, if Owls does the heavy lifting. May not be your choice. Those Hellheartings are going to give people many problems, and I think they'll do pretty well against Oreopada. He told me he has a good bless against Zan, which includes True Sight. If I had to guess, probably also some defense stacking and Wrath. We can take a closer look at that matchup. I'll give my probably incorrect opinion. Honestly, losing 3 mages in 2.5 expansion parties is such an anomaly for me, I really don't know what to do. I feel so behind. Well, you can just look at my Dark Elves campaign if you want some solidarity on the feeling behind front. Site searching so far also was a complete miss, as I was really hoping for some death income to just crap out Ghana's left and right. That is unfortunate. Because Ghana's are really, I think, what you want as Lanka, to be able to help take a fort in a first war, because they can help get rid of the wall guards. Or build up a war chest to suck up to Kirby for hammers and fireplates. Fair. Or look at them for trading. Anyways, hope you're enjoying the Distant Wars. I am always such a pacifist. That's just not true. You're a vulture. At least when you're playing dwarves. Alright. Well, the trolls are unhelpful. With Misformed, the gods clear them fine. But we are a ways off of that, so they might be staying there a bit longer than desired. Okay. So maybe that's where the pretenders coming out of the caves then, is I'm guessing what's happening. We don't have a lot of combat. We only have 1 battle in the Ulm War too. So let's check that out. And they find PD. Okay. Should go fine for Ulm. I would have expected some counterattacks from Alright, let's check out the... I guess the rest of it's still just expansion, so let's go ahead and check it. We've got Hinnom. Has a lot of heavy cap. Alright, so these are lance catchers. Is their bless woken up? Oh, here we go. A very late coming dormant bless. Berserker and vampiric weapons. Was that death, a lot of blood, and nature? Berserker. It does work on Hinnom. It might have a slight negative impact on late game casting, because somebody can do bloodletting and ruin maybe some big buffs that you were planning to do with, I don't know, Nephilim or a small communion. If you're using like Kohen. This is interesting though. Okay. Let's see if any of them die. Oh, the commander might die. That would not be good. But they're Berserker, so I think he'll win regardless. Commander routes. Oh, there's Circle Masters here. Okay. Oh, okay. Gosh. Provinces with indie imp spam are horrendous to fight into. Okay. I want to look at this again. I want to see if there's any loot on the mages. No, no loot. Okay. Well, we can double check here. Yeah. So it does take some attrition, loses 2 Roughites. But does take... This has got to be a throne. Throne of Fortune. Okay. And then... Which on Hinnom... that'll give him only Misfortune 1, which I think is a big improvement. With Berytos, at least it's my instinctual feeling after playing Misfortune 1 and Misfortune 2 a few times. This is... Oh, he's just killing off the white ones, mercs. Killing off mercs can have value, especially if you're someone like Berytos with a lot of money right now, because it'll open up new mercenary slots that you can bid on. So I think the swimming men moved into their slot. So unfortunately not a great merc company for him, but let's see, Embracer. Atlantean Militia making another go of it. They might win this. There might be enough of them. But they're real bad. They do end up winning. Okay. Lose nearly half of them, though. It was very much a world where they could have ran. And Lanka got Palankasha. They should do fine here. This should be a massacre. Did they get blessed? Oh yeah, they should have been. 2 of them didn't get blessed. We can tell because they're the ones who didn't get quickness. Alright. No casualties though. Hinnom and Salt Plains. Just some villains, not a big deal. He's not blessing these Raphites. And Berytos. It's a lot of lance charges. Gift of the Hair. Okay. Mountain King might get in there. There we go. Now they should dissolve. There we go. Alright, so Berytos takes that. So the lion is not leaving just yet. Is it Gossamer Gam? Okay. Pretty nice. Misses. Okay. Not bad. And then we saw that one. Then we've got two expansions by Fomoria. Hopefully everyone gets blessed here. They're kind of spread out. Let's see. I am curious. No, no, no. One. Alright, so about half of them are not blessed yet. Still good troops, though. So they take out the heavy cav. They're chasing, which is unfortunate. The commander's running in alone and routs the squad. That certainly could have gone worse. Instead, he just loses 3 elves. So, solid expansion. Yeah, it looks like we missed some more again. This time it's elephants. Might matter more. 3 are going for the commander. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think he would have won if it wasn't for the commander getting trampled. A little unlucky. We'll have to check out where that happened. And then the last fight is Mekone going after a throne. Okay. Chassis of the Mountain, birch boots. Anyone else? Hunter's knife. Oh yeah, the fish scale boots. We looked at these, I think, last turn. So we have the initial cavalry attack, tying up the Mekone left, which are the Giganti hoplites, so honestly probably good. Long Dead are catching the flank. That was a pretty big Shadow Blast. I think these 4 are gonna die for sure. That was a big miss. The Long Dead are doing worse than I thought. That was a good Shadow Blast. Undead really just struggling to hit through the armor here. Oh! But he got a Soulless Warrior. So a Shadow Blast, you get a chance to turn them into a Soulless for your side. So he got an Armored 17 Prot, 32 damage Axe Giant out of this Mekone guy. And the giant spawned behind. He could score a couple of kills. Now, he does have pretty low attack. But this guy's also pretty harassed down. They've routed the Ectromos, I think. Yeah, they're routed. So they're taking big stat penalties, and they're surrounded. It was a pretty big drain life from what felt like halfway across the map. Casualties are increasing. This effort is exposed. He's got air shield, but he's still only 4 protection. His Shadow Blast. Here comes another one. Queued up by the Lich, I guess. Immortality. Dang. That one mostly missed. What's his precision? 13? I don't know where these guys are going. They have no one to chase. Okay, they're coming back now. The pole march is running. Oh, we've got an army route. The hoplites up front just don't realize it yet. Okay, they've realized. They're running. What a disaster. I think it would have been good to bring the Prophet here if the Prophet wasn't here, and I don't think it was, because the banishment would have turned the fight. Feel pretty confident. Oh gosh, is this pole march gonna get killed? He's got a gap. He's 100 fatigue though. Can he get out before new troops fill in? Hoplite next to him gets drained lifed. Other hoplite is holding the retreat path. No, he's staying to fight. I think the window just closed. He's a soulless now. Not a giant soulless. Somehow. I don't know how that was different than the other guy. Oof. So what's the damage? 1 effer, 1 pole march. 415. So 650 gold just in mages. Loses 19 Ectromos, 28 hoplites. Ouch. That was almost 700 undead though. I think in this case a mixed squad would have done better. Having the Ectromos run was really bad. But if they were mixed, I'm not sure if they would have ran. No, gaps in the line could have opened up faster, but... And then I guess some other stuff. Now this is all hindsight, but putting the effort behind the worst Ectromos, maybe not great. Does have a pole march here. Got crippled in your first battle. Oh no. The Kidzin Slayer. Poison Res, Precision, Disease Res. Not a huge bless. Alright. Trading 7 undead per Mekone, but still not good. That Lich did a lot, got 10 kills. Which when you're factoring in giants, that's a lot of damage. Long Dead scored a lot. Damn. All right. So let's see. Let's go take a look here. All right, so he bounced on the elephants. Did the elephants retreat off? That's, I guess, the next question. A little bit of trample. Do the slingers make it off? Okay. So we still have 5 elephants. Oh, this party would have done a lot better with 2 people blessing it, too. Might have survived just long enough to rout some of the elephants. And all the sacreds would have been blessed. 2 unmarked. The commanders have glamour. I don't think we get to see them. Maybe? Garden of Bones. Okay, so Fomoria does get into here. Berytos is building a fort here, right on the border. I forget what was here, but it's probably a particular indie type he wants. Yeah, just making sure they're mindless so we don't interfere with the mind hunting game. We've got an undead squad here, 1 here. He does get the great silver mine, so Berytos is going to get even more money. Throne of Dreams. This is cut off from Hinnom. Sloth and +1 magic. You know, that might be worth for Berytos. That could certainly be worth it. Throne of Gaia would also be good. Growth 4 might be a little bit too much growth, but it would also be good for Tianchi. Tianchi's protecting this fort going up with his pretender. Now, if I remember right from the message, Alice approached me about a 2v1 on Zan. If I remember right, Zan is Helheim. Owls is Sauromatia. Let me just confirm. Yeah, Owls is Sauromatia. Okay. I don't know how you do a 2v1 like that. It's a very narrow border. Because you're asking Sauromatia to go through all of this and do the heavy lifting, and then you get what? This? It's not a stable border if Lanka takes this. I don't know. It's a little weird to me. I would think Lanka would have to do the heavy lifting. Because I could see a world where Lanka gets maybe all of this. And then maybe Sauromatia does this and takes this fort. $90 Oreopoda and Lancers. I think Helheim can kill this. The Lankan army is not ready to go. He's just site searching right now. Doing some blood hunting. He did go across the mountain. Well, if you're Marverni, last turn you could have gone after the barbs without worrying about a bump. But now I don't think you get any of this as Marverni. That's a lot of free territory to Lanka. I don't feel like Marverni should have wanted to do that. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17. Still has decent expansion though. Mekone's not fighting anyone real soon. I mean, he still could. He has an army, but this was a pretty big blow. He'll probably want to rebuild a bit. There's a fort going up here. Seeing if he's got another fort going down. Yeah, fort going on this lab and temple. So he'll be on 3 forts. Kind of hard to get down to this fort and protect it. But it does help him, give him access to this throne. Now, both Mekone and Hinnom would be well positioned to take it. They have the magic weapons to punch through the vampire's invulnerability. Gosh. Okay, it's time to counterattack. What are we doing, buddy? Protecting a fort. Worried about being elfed. I think you gotta push, man. Don't let him take all your money. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like this defense so far. Because I think what this force is gonna do, because it's smaller, I think it's gonna sidestep and go after Stonegrave. Ah, you gotta counterattack. You've got a temple here. Defend your temple at least. You could shift. I guess you can patrol your cap. You can shift some troops here and move these troops here. And patrol and like defeat anything at Green Gate. Or you can do a full shift. You could give up Iron Range, I guess. Defend defend this, and defend this. Until your fort comes up. I would have liked to have seen defenses here. A defense here at least. I mean, if we look at the graphs, I'm sure Ulm's catching up. They haven't taken much attrition this turn. Both nations have a lot of foreign wreck. Yeah, you've still got the biggest army, or by a margin. Now, some of that is size points, but your units are size 4. Ulm's are size 3, if I remember right. So it's not that much of a difference. Size 5. Okay. So maybe you have a slight edge in troop numbers, but you shouldn't be scared to fight this. Is your pretender awake? 7 Sage. Okay. 15 PD. 19 PD. 17. 40. So he's PD dumped the cap a bit. I think you leave a small force patrolling, but you take this army, you go after Millgate. You've got 17 PD here. Honestly, having 180 troops just sit here is not useful. I think you just march into Anvest, and then you can potentially split. You've got to cut off the income, so I think you send a small raid here. And if Ballin decides to block it, that's fine. But I think you have the main force go into Anvest. Send a small raid here to cut off income, so he's not tracing. And then you need to start raiding his interior. And then this force, I'd move this into Green Gate. And maybe PD dump this a little bit more. I don't know what the PD is, though. I don't know if Ur's waiting for something, like a piece of tech. But they've got the bigger army. I think they should be taking fights. Because the longer Ulm traces income here, the faster Ulm's going to catch up with foreign recruit in terms of army sizes. Especially if Ulm gets back in here. That's when it starts getting tough. So there's a fair amount of income back in here. Like 100. So, yeah, well, we'll have to see. But I'm hoping for a more active defense from than what we've seen so far. I think he could have taken fights here and won. That's what I'm thinking instinctually. Fomoria is going to need some time just to build up there. I don't think they're ready for war, but they do have good research. They just keep losing their army. Yeah, number 1. And then really small army, especially considering that they recruit giants, so it's by size points. Hinnom's Bless just woke up. Where are they? Alright, so not the biggest army, but they could start recruiting a lot more. No new forts up. Oh no, they got the palisades down here. Yeah, I think it's smart. They can keep going for thrones. Could go for this throne next. Get a gold mine. That'd be big. Can't eat a gold mine. And then... yeah, I'm not sure what Xibalba does. I think Xibalba is a natural ally for Helheim. So if this war kicks off, I'd like to see Xibalba join Helheim and backstab Lanka. I think that would be the most logical play. I mean, look at the border they've got. They've got a bunch of Sinos. They're really guarding this fort. The Grey Enchantress. They've got another fort up in their cap circle. I at least haven't noticed any crazy new sites. Yeah, I think these guys are going to go take out the barbarians. Looks like elite soldiers are the main troop type going forward. For Berytos, let's go ahead and check out some of the other graphs. Dominion. Marverni's Dominion is getting pushed back a bit. TNG is second on research. If TNG can hit lanterns with Throne of the Artificer, they'll be in very good shape. Lanka's got surprisingly good research. Berytos is starting to inflect. Gym income, we've got Mekone and Marverni in first. We can check out both of their sites, I guess. Berytos a mile above in income. The greed is paying off. No one's called him on it yet. Berytos #1 in forts, so that income's buying more forts. And then for provinces, we've got Berytos in first. But not by as much as I thought. Lanka is catching up with all the free land they've been getting. Okay. I guess Berytos still has a few more they can get. So he knows it's 27 Tritons. He's got 20 Shamblers here. Did he forget to move the Shamblers with the Shambler Chief? I'm a little confused. Roughite. Would be a little scary seeing that on the border. That's 10 Roughites. Not sure what Berytos does against that. Maybe Hinnom will want this throne instead. These Roughites are up here, though. He has some troops over here. I mean, Hinnom could just content himself going for thrones. He borders 3 more. You need 6 to win. So if Hinnom secured 4 of the thrones, I mean, that would be a hell of a start. Could make a deal with Xibalba. Maybe Xibalba could try and get this from Lanka. Although, no, Hinnom would want this. I guess Hinnom would want probably this. Sauromatia would want... No, Sauromatia is working with Lanka. I guess Xibalba could try and get down here. I don't know. I think Xibalba and Hinnom do make natural allies for Helheim right now. Sauromatia is a little bit of a weird partner, I think, for Lanka. I'm not sure how you would split that. I think TNG makes a really good partner for Lanka. But I'm also a little concerned that TNG would just, in terms of army fights, would just get rolled. Let's take a look at the Bless. So we've got the Sauromatia Bless. Cold Res defense skill, Blur, Blood Surge, and True Sight. Helheim, though. Poison weapons, slowing weapons, shock, poison res, fire resist, and blur. So 19 defense skill. How does Sauromatia match up? 12 attack, 18 defense. There's no bonus to attack skill. They have similar defense skills with blur. Now, blur is negated by the true sight, but the mirror images are not. We haven't seen Helheim troops active in a long time. Let me pull up those two blesses. Slowing and poison. All right, so just pulling these up. Unless they resist the effect. Is it an MR effect? -2 attack, -2 defense. That could offset the blur advantage. Poison weapons. Get struck and wounded. I think the biggest thing is just, will they be able to hit each other? Because Sauromatia is going to have effectively 2 more defense. But Helheim's going to have mirror images. It does seem a lot closer than what I think. But once an Oreopata gets hit, I think Helheim's gonna gain a lot from that. I think Helheim might dismount Oreopata faster, but I haven't tested the matchup. Interesting. Okay. So working together with Kidzin. I think that's it for this one. Unless I pull up a test game. I suppose we could do that. Yeah, give me a few minutes. I'll make a quick test game. All right, so I've got a test game set up. I did forget to use debug mod. So it's going to be pretty basic. All we're going to do is validate the sacred matchup. We're not going to take into account gear, which Sauromatia can do pretty easily. And even Helheim, but I think Sauromatia can definitely do a lot of gear thugs. I know Helheim gets dwarves, but yeah, I guess they can both do a lot of gear. They can both do a lot of point buffing. Like luck and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and see just how the sacreds match up. Now, Sauromatia might not know about the incarnate portion, which is the poison weapons. And Sauromatia can awaken tattoos. And adding invulnerability would make them a lot more tanky. Kills one. Yeah, it's poisoning the mounts that seems to be doing the damage, and then once they're dismounted, now it was an extra hell hurting, but that was pretty lopsided in Helheim's favor. Maybe we can send a follow-up group. Let's see. Let's send a bigger group. Numbers can definitely have a quality all of their own. Let's see how this does. They're going to vastly outnumber the Hellherdings. I think this is going to be a very tough war for Sauromatia. And he must not know about the slowing weapons portion of the bless. Oh no. Alright, let me load up the game again. Alright, we've got the game loaded back up. So if Sauromatia starts this war now, he's got 90 units on the border. Sauromatia looks ready to go. He has a force consolidation. Maybe he has an agreement with Hinnom for these borders. Has no forts near the front, so reinforcements from here have to go all the way up, which could be good if the war goes poorly. It has another fort here. It's being upgraded. This one's not being upgraded just yet. Now, part of this too is if he goes into Griffin Rock, it's going to take him a few turns to get anywhere, which means Helheim has time to rally. If Helheim was planning to elf someone and gets caught out, like for example, let's say he was planning to elf Berytos and he has a bunch of stealthed units all over Berytos, he might have to recall those, and that could take 3 or 4 turns because they're going to move very slowly in enemy territory until they get to friendly territory. Oh no. I worry though, because Lanka doesn't look ready just yet, unless Lanka heads out next turn. But it's going to be a little bit delayed. Sauromatia is going to attack first. Then Lanka is going to move out Palankashas. I mean, it'll be tough for Helheim. It'll be a 2v1. But potentially Helheim could wipe armies very easily. And if that happens, I have to think Xibalba would help Helheim. Ur's busy. Marverni might want some of this. Although Marverni's not going to want anything to do with all of this, actually. So Marverni might not respond. Hinnom, though. I think Hinnom and Xibalba would answer Zan's phone calls, I would think. Very interesting. Is this a fort? No, just getting crystals here. I hope he's got these scripted to retreat, because if they died to a squad of Palankashas in an initial attack, that'd be very bad. I hate leaving indie recruited mages just standing out in the open to get killed. Yeah, Helheim for Garrett. They've got dwarves, right? Yeah, so Helheim can do plenty of Garrett. They just don't get nature. I really like nature on thugs. But Earth is extremely good too. It's probably Earth is number 1 and then nature is number 2. I think Sauromatia gets both, right? Oh, did they not? They don't get Earth? Helheim can make a GSS. Sauromatia can't. That's tough. Elves can move too. They're high map mobility elves. You have to make sure to protect your commanders, because Valkyries can jump them. Oh man. Alright. I'm very excited for this war. A 2v1 where I see a way out for the 1 is very intriguing to me. Alright. And then we've got this war. We've got some scaling. I guess TNG too. Fomoria is going to need time. This whole block's going to need time. I think Hinnom's going to be looking for something. They could be just looking at thrones for now. But if Helheim called up and was like, hey, you want to fight Lanka? I can see Hinnom looking at all this Lanka stuff and maybe wanting some of it. All right. Oh, now it's getting good. I'm looking forward to shit now. Let's get turn 17 going. Unfortunately, it has not rolled yet. This is the current turn. So I'll have to see you next time. Have a good one, guys. Later.